Out doing K-Type Press time with Aaron Lafarge is coming off a title win at Smash Global 10. Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing great, Alex. It's good to be speaking with you again. Just been soaking in the win a little bit, just getting some rest as well. So everything's been going great, though.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm happy to be talking with you. Man, it's been 4 days since your fight. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's still pretty fresh. It hasn't even been hasn't even been, it's barely been like half of a week. So, but I feel great. I had a couple minor injuries going into the fight. So, um, I was just, there's nothing was going to stop me from getting that win, So now it's just letting those little things heal up, that way we could get back going again.
What injuries were you bringing into the fight?
I don't want to get into too much depth, but they were just minor. It wasn't anything that wasn't gonna keep me out of it. I mean, there was one injury that happened early on in camp. I wasn't really sure how it was gonna, but ended up healing up really well. And then there was one that happened a little bit later in camp, and I just kind of just dealt with it. I've been in fights before, and I just kind of learned to kind of figure ways around it and keep training hard and to fight hard. So
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Okay. Well, how do you feel about your performance?
I it was interesting because I've just been talking to quite a bit of people about it. A lot of people have been asking how I felt, how it went, and for me, it was just I knew Raz was a really good striker. I just knew he was very good Muay Thai, very good kicks, very good boxing. Like he was a very good striker. And the first round for me, I feel like this was a fight that was able to show people that I could strike with the striker. I'm not for some reason people just think that I'm a grappler or just a more of a boxer, but it's like I can strike with anybody. He's fought guys from different parts of the world too. Fought guys from Kyrgyzstan, Israel, Ukraine, and he's got some finishes on his record. He had 3 finishes in a row. So it's he was a good striker. He's a good finisher too. And we first round was kind of just back and forth the filling out process, and I think we put him on his heels. So I felt like I was more in control of the center of the cage. And obviously the second round, I almost pretty much submitted him. I thought he went to sleep. I really did. I thought he even tapped too, but he was a tough guy. Third round, we're able to wobble him on the feet. So we pretty much outstruck him in the third round. And overall, it was really a dominating performance. I just wanted to show respect after the fight. I put some interviews, but it was more just to show respect. But I felt like I dominated the fight against a guy that's fought in Bellator 3 times, went 3-0 in Bellator. It was on a 4-fight win streak, so I felt great.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you were the underdog going in. I wanted to talk about a little bit of the pre-fight. He was talking some shit. Did that
Uh,
motivate you? Did that like what? How did you feel going into the fight?
Absolutely, and on top of it, his coach was too. His coach was originally the guy that said it. He's like, "Oh, our guy's gonna kill him." Like he was almost like, "I, this guy wants to fight my guy. That guy's gonna kill him," And then Raz started jumping on and was like making like memes about me and trying to like I don't know what he was doing, but he was just calling me a baby. Oh, you're a crybaby. You cried about a couple of your fights. I was like, well, I mean, those were arguably fights that I felt like I've won. And but I knew maybe he was underestimating me. I know the competition I've fought against, and I know what kind of competitor I am, and it definitely lit a fire under me. And I just kind of didn't reply back to some of the messages. I kind of read them. He would tag me in some stuff, and I didn't even reply back. And I just was in the gym, While he was trying to get under my skin, I was in the gym working.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Do you think this is the biggest one of your career?
Absolutely. I think Raz is actually, to be honest, the best fighter that I've fought. Definitely the best striker, without a doubt. Without a doubt, he was the best striker. And I thought there was a guy from Lithuania that I fought that was literally a really good striker too. But I think Raz was just more of a little more well-rounded. Like he had pretty he had pretty good takedown defense. I was able to get through on him, but I just felt sharp everywhere. The coaches that I have, the people that I'm around right now, or just in general, I just have the best. I'm ready for anything at this point. So I knew going in that he was going to be a good fight, and it really was. I would say he's definitely up there, but I'd say he could definitely be number one. But he's definitely one of the top wins that I have so far.
Awesome, man. So I wanted to go back to the Cody Davis fight because afterwards you retired from the sport and you said you were done. I wanted you kind of to talk me through that thought process, what you were feeling, and what ultimately brought you back.
So yeah, that's a deep question, Alex, for me because I feel like there's a lot of variables in that one question. I mean, just to start off, you asked me about how I felt after, and a lot of people have messaged me, like a ton of people that like just people I haven't talked to in years, and people that I've kind of grew up with, people that I went, wrestled in school with, guys that I've trained with that are they're in the UFC or bigger organizations. And everyone's just these people are just reaching out to me like, are you really you feel this way? Are you serious? Like, how about you come train at our gym? Maybe like our gym and our gyms, we have a lot of good guys. And I'm like, I really felt that way, Alex. I just felt like I just had, I don't even know how to put it in words, but it wasn't a good feeling. And it just was, I felt really down. And I just, because I know how good I am. I know how good I can be. I know I could beat anybody. It doesn't matter where they're from in the world. As I showed my last performance, and I know I'm capable of competing with the best guys in the world. Guys in the UFC. Raz is 7-2. Raz could seriously be in the UFC right now or on the Contender Series, and I just beat the guy dominantly. So it's like I know how I am as a competitor, and I just feel like that fight was probably that was a terrible performance. It was probably one of the. I was even upset at myself. Like I was just as far as my preparation, just everything, and I just felt like I didn't know where to go from there. I didn't know. It's like, man, what am I doing? What am I not doing correctly? There's guys that I've trained with that I do just fine, or guys that I've competed with, like in just wrestling in college. Like my buddy Hunter Agier that I went to go visit, just recently. He's fought in the UFC. He's already been through the UFC. And I haven't even been there yet. And I'm like, and I lose to a guy like that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, Cody's I mean, he's a decent little fighter, but he's not. I'm trying to compete with the best guys in the sport, and to me, it was like, man, if I having trouble with this guy, like I need to figure it out. So, I mean, I have a higher standard for myself, and I'm just being a little hard, but honest with myself. And luckily I have good friends, good people in my life, and someone like Hunter did reach out to me. He said, I'm here at Fight Ready. We got guys like Henry Cejudo, myself. We got half of like most of our rosters in the UFC or Bellator or LFA, and this is where you would thrive in this room. Like Henry came from a wrestling background, and obviously two-weight UFC champion around someone like that, you're just gonna like he's just gonna make you so much better. You're already where you're at, but he's just gonna take you to a different level. So I definitely went out there to go visit, and it opened my eyes. Like I was just like, wow, like the gyms like this, and obviously I had other friends. I have a friend up at AKA. He reached out to me to go visit too. I haven't even taken that trip, but I would love to just go visit and just go see how those guys train. See, train with their little guys and see what they bring to the table. But overall, it was tough. And what brought me back actually was my manager Julian. He actually gave me a call. I was really done. And I still remember where I was at, what I was doing when he called me. And he gave me a call and he was just talking to me. He was like, hey, I've been wanting to get a hold of you and talk with you and just see where everything is at. And I just kind of explained to him how I felt. He explained to me, and he kind of just opened my eyes. Like he made me look at it from a different perspective. Obviously, one of my friends now who helps coach me now, Kyle, he reached out to me as well and was like, "Hey, man, you're seriously way too too talented. Like I just I don't even I get it how you feel, but you're just way too good to like just be done with the sport. Like you just like man, I'd hate to see you just walk away from the sport. All the hard work that you put in. I've known him since I was younger wrestling, so he's like I just that's just if there's anything I could maybe want to do is but just help you bring you back. You know, I'll talk to some people, get you some good training partners, and that's what we did. You know, and uh, I I didn't take any days off. I you know I took my training 100% seriously this time around. I was in the gym multiple times a day, so as you can see, my performance paid off. Like I wasn't gonna let anything stop me from beating this guy.
Um, so if other fighters are now in your position or in your position when you lost, what would you tell fighters that are like down? They're like, what am I doing this for? Like, what would your
Right.
message be?
Um, you know, it's just to be you got to be honest with yourself in that position, but at the same time, you know, just as many good people there are going to be negative people. There are going to be people like, oh, go, why don't you go figure, do something else, or maybe this is, you know, and it's you just got to listen to the positive people, people that want the best for you in the sport. You know, people that know you and that understand, you know, what you're going through. You know, because I know that feeling. It's not it's not a good feeling at all. But one thing I could say though, Alex, is it's something you want to experience, you know, at least I can say it now because, you know, there's fighters that get to the UFC. There's fighters that are undefeated that feel on top of the world. Hunter, you know, I talked to Hunter and my friend Hunter who was in the UFC. He was 8-0 when he signed to the or was in the UFC, beat Brackatona in his debut. And I mean, he's not the only one, but there's other people that have told me, you know, that you go in undefeated, you take a loss, it's hard. It's hard to bounce back. You know, then you got to find another tough guy in the UFC who's just as hungry, you know, or if not hungrier, you know. So I'm glad I experienced that early on in my career, and I know how to, you know, how to work through these things. So if there's anybody listening or that will listen to this and they're going through something like that, I mean, you could do it. Just you know, you got to put one foot in front of the other, put good people around you and just keep working, you know, keep grinding. I encourage everyone to kind of step out of their comfort zone and go see another gym, go see other places. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, you got to do you feel is best in your position. So I encourage other people to do that. That there's other good people around there. You know, you run into someone at another gym that maybe understands the same thing. So
Um, do you plan on going back to Fight Ready for for a camp?
uh, yeah, well, actually, I got to meet all the coaches. I got to train with most of their guys there. I met their coach, Santino. You know, Eddie Chaw is actually originally from Southern California, and Angel. I met Henry. You know, Henry actually ran some classes for us, and then his brother Angel is a great guy. One of the best, I think personally, one of the best wrestling grappling coaches in all of MMA in the world. Like the guy is just such and he's so knowledgeable and yeah, the plan was actually to make it back out there, but you know, I ended up doing most of my camp out here for this my last fight, and I felt great, Alex. And it was great to just do it here at home. But you know, I talked to Hunter. I liked it out there. Everyone, you know, saw my work ethic and they're you know saw I'm serious about the sport. So yeah, I would love to go visit. Obviously, Hunter is a friend of mine, and I would love to go out there and train and maybe visit with him again. And you know, we'll see, Alex. You know, I don't right now. I'm just kind of taking some downtime, but obviously, as we keep moving up, I would love to get out there, maybe link up with Henry and his brother and Hunter and some of these guys and do a training camp out there.
So you go from heartbreak, retiring from the sport to coming back, dominating this guy, getting a title, getting back in the win column. Like, just tell me how that felt.
I don't want to. I don't like to use the word roller coaster, Alex, because it's a very, it's a very. It wasn't so much up and down, Alex. It was just very. It was just like it's indescribable. It's unexplainable. It was just such a down point. to be honest, I lost to in wrestling in a national. I lost in the national championship in college, right? In my senior year of wrestling in college, I lost to a very good wrestler. He was on the United States Junior World Team for freestyle wrestling, represented the United States and Europe. Was the number one recruit coming out of high school, wrestled at Iowa State. I lost to him, and it was just heartbreaking because I felt I was very just as good, just as good. He wrestled better than me, and hats off. But it was heartbreaking. But that loss, my last loss, was just more like there was just no words for it. It was like, am I what am I doing? What am I doing? You know, and um, you know, and then I coming back, and I wanted to leave no stone unturned. I wanted to cross off all the boxes. He was talking trash, which that was for me, that was the cherry on top. It was like, all right, let's go get this. Let's go. That's it. He fired me. He actually fired me up. So it was like everything all came together at once, and it was the perfect storm.
Mm, I love it. I love it, man. I love. I don't know. It's weird. I love the roller coaster, man. That like because I know because I talked to you. You were so fucking heartbroken. And like
Yeah,
when you said you retired, and I was like, man, like I didn't want to see that, but like, who am I to tell a professional athlete like what to do? You know what I'm saying? So when you got this fight and announced you're back, I was so happy because I know how talented you are, and I know that you love the sport, and just to see that you got that win, man, it's like it warmed my heart.
yeah, I appreciate it, Alex, and you know, people like you, Alex, and people who just are good people in the sport, and I just why I enjoy talking to you. You know, usually there's people, you know, that you know, it's as far as conversations go, it's pretty short. But like you, like someone like you, Alex, I love to just you know get in a good conversation with you and talk about the sport, talk about you know just certain experiences on my end. So
Yeah, man. No, for sure, for sure. I feel the same way. So what do you want the rest of your year to look like? It's May. You just got 4 days removed from a fight. What do you want the rest of your year to look like?
yeah, I mean, I'm looking. Obviously, like I said, I had a couple injuries just in training camp and then in that fight. So you know, obviously, I'm gonna let these heal for you know at least the remainder of this week and then you know maybe the beginning of next week, but I'm still going to get back in the gym and just work lightly. But yeah, I like kind of want to you know see what my options are over the next you know let's see what's out there in the next you know maybe in 2 months, uh see what fights are available. So I'm looking to definitely get back in there this summer, I would say. We'll see. I mean, nothing's guaranteed obviously, but I would like to get back in the summer. I would like to you know, see if we get one more, you know, contender series. I don't know. I really believe Raz Brains was is UFC material. I think at least Dana White contender series capability. He's that good. Like his striking was legit. The guy was tough. Like I literally had a rear naked choke deep on him. He did not go out. He's a true fighter, and I respect that. He's a warrior. That guy. He was planning on, and I still think that guy will be in the UFC later on in his career. He's that good. I really do.
I know that the Fury Fighting Championship is coming to Visalia um, in July. Is that too early for you to maybe hop on that card?
Was it May, June, July? Yeah, well, I mean, like we'll see. I definitely want these injuries to be 100% healed up, Alex. So I know previously going into this fight, they're like, hey, this is the time of rest. You need these to at least to be fully healed. That way you feel healthy going into the next camp. So I just want to listen to the sports doctors and the sports people and just get these things healed up. And we'll get right back to it. If hopefully I'll be healed up and be able to get on that card, I would love to. You know, I know that these fights coming up now are every fight for me is I want to be 100% going in. I just want my body feeling healthy. So
Awesome. Awesome. Finally, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the flyweight division of the UFC. I haven't talked to you since Figgy got the belt again. And then Brandon Moreno is fighting Kai Karaffa for the interim title. I just wanted your thoughts on that matchup.
so Moreno and Kai Car France, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I personally like I was surprised by Kai France's last performance. I really was. Moreno's just he's a good fighter too. I think this is a good fight. It's literally a 50-50 fight. It's their second fight. I know that. But I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think Kai France is fighting well right now. Obviously, Brandon Moreno is just coming off a title fight, so sure he's hungry. So it's just, it's a great matchup at where they're at. So one guy's coming up, one guy's coming off a tough loss, but I mean that really doesn't matter. So it's a 50-50 fight in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Flip a coin, and what I'm saying, that's really what it is.
Exactly.
Awesome, man. Aaron, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. You want to plug your social media? You want to plug any sponsors you got? You want to thank anybody? The floor is yours.
Yeah, just let's see. So my social media is my Instagram is Aaron. It's Aaron LA_FARGE1. You can also find me on Twitter. I have an athletes page on Facebook. I just want to thank all my coaches. First off is Matt Salinas, Kyle Chenet, Edgar Torres, Alex Flores, Dale Roybal, my strength and conditioning coach Daniel, my sponsors Dom Real Estate. I want to thank just mainly Dom Real Estate. They've just been a consistent sponsor, and just all my sponsors that have ever sponsored me before. So you guys are very much appreciated. And thank you, Alex.